Hello and welcome back to ACER Explained. In this series, I'm going through Section 3 of the ACER Practice Test Booklet. So in this one, another short one, we're going through question 73. As usual, I'll identify the prerequisite knowledge that you might need, reasoning skills, and the bootcamp resources that can help with this. Alright, so this is a pretty short question. We're being asked about DNA. So we have two 6-base fragments that are given to us here. And we're told that they are fragments that come from a 12-base DNA sequence. And we're being asked what fraction of the sequence do they represent, at least. So there's two aspects to this question. First aspect is kind of the DNA aspect of it. And then you have the at least aspect of it. Now, you barely even need to know any of the DNA aspect of this question. You don't really need to even know what these bases mean. So say you didn't even know what that means, what the bases actually were. You could tell that basically these are the different bases, and you have 6 bases here because we're told this. And they should add up. Well, they come from a sequence that is 12 bases long. So the second aspect of this question is the at least aspect. So, first of all, let's think of at most. Let's think of it the opposite way. At most, these two 6-base fragments could make up the entire sequence, right? You could literally have ATT, GAT stuck onto the end of ATA, TTG, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's 12 out of 12 of the DNA sequence. So it could represent at most all 12 bases. But the question is asking at least. And so that tells us we want to look for the most amount of overlap that's possible to get to that least aspect of this question. So what's the most amount of overlap that's possible here? So I can already see a pattern. I can already see that we have ATT overlapping here. In fact, we have ATTG overlapping here. So let me highlight that and let me erase all of these underlines to make it a bit clearer. So we have this aspect. Apologies. Bear with me. Okay. We have this aspect that's overlapping in both. So you could have that's the highlighter. You could have ATTG, and then, so that's the AT at the beginning, ATTG, and then this AT at the end. And the way that you could have gotten these 6-base fragments was by chopping it up from here to here, and then chopping it up from, so that would get you to this initial fragment, and then chopping it up from here to here, which would get you to this fragment here, right? So this is the most amount of overlap. So that means that you still have room for, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the rest of the DNA fragment could be whatever, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so this bit is representative of 8 out of 12 of the total sequence. And so that's why your answer here is A. So for this question, it might have been useful to know kind of how DNA fragments work, but you didn't really need to know this. You could have used your pattern recognition skills to kind of figure that out as well. And the bootcamp resources that can help with this are the reasoning skills course and the acceleration class on pattern recognition. And then there's also the content in action genetics 1 and 2 to brush up on that if you want to do that. And that brings us to the end of Unit 23. So this was a pretty short one, but please like, share, and subscribe for more GAMSAT help. We really appreciate your feedback. Then we have our Instagram down here at Thank Flip GAMSAT and our podcast at Thank Flip GAMSAT Nurses Doing GAMSAT if you want to hear more from us. All right, I'll see you in the next one.